It's time for the Other Three Amigos podcast.
Find us on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram.
On this week's podcast, how does Decky normally get to the studio? Simon Grayson was out and about. How long is 3 seconds? City 4 3-0. The mailbag is open. And we've had a few contenders before, but this is definitely the worst preview of all time. All this as we look back on the most positive week of the ownership's tenure so far. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 21, Episode 346 of your favourite 100% unofficial Cork City Football Club podcast. It is the Other Three Amigos. We are back. I'm your host this week, Declan McCormick, as Dan Casey isn't with us. And I have two amigos this week. Mr. Mullins is here. Wayne, not Scotty. Wayne is here with us.
Hi lads, I'm sweating.
At the thought of making the podcast, or is there something else going on?
It's way too hot for people like me.
Will you do me a favour there, Scott, as well? You're nearest the window there in TOTAP Towers. Will you just have a look outside? I have to drive in. We'll just have a look outside there and see if I'm okay to park there.
That's the new car you got, wasn't it?
Yeah, but am I okay to park there?
Are we leasing that as part of the business, or is this yourself?
Shh, they say nothing, no say nothing. Downtown Guadalajara is busy, with the World Cup on and everything else. Like, it's a fucking nightmare trying to get through traffic.
Fine. A few Brazilians out there, but
I wanted to get the train in, like I always do, and with the matches on, train was full like the old fucking GART. No room for it, so I had to go back and get the car and drive in.
What's the GART?
The Guadalajara area rapid transport.
Sorry,
GART.
yeah.
What do you think we come in? What do you think I come in on every week? The GART and the GUAS.
Jet ski.
What am I talking about? Anyway, welcome to our multi-award winning podcast. Throw us a 5-star, Grayson. I'm not Dan Casey. I'm Declan McCormick, as I said. Why not join us on Patreon? We do nothing for you, but look, you pay for the new car that's parked outside. And other things. Other than that, guys, we just get on with things.
Yes.
There's a very serious low-lying airline just gone past there. If you hear a banging, that's way too low. No, seriously, it's way too low. It's gone, I think, now.
I can't see out the window. I'm on the other side of the studio. Right, Academy Watch. The under-20s, Cork City 3, UCD 2. This was in Tier 1, so the top tier started back. Fonseca got 1 and Ogbenge got 2. So both those lads have debuted for the senior team in the last couple of weeks, scoring goals with the under-20s. The under-17s went down to Kerry and beat Kerry 2-1. That was in Tier 2 South. So as we said, they didn't qualify for the top tier. Fitzgerald with both goals down there. And the under-15s who did qualify for the top tier, Tier 1, they beat Waterford 4-3 in Waterford. Simic, Tadoja got 2, and Ocardia got the 4th for Cork City. The under-14s didn't play. And I think everybody knows by now that our ladies beat Peamount United in Turner's Cross on Saturday by a scoreline of 6 goals to 0.
Well, hey, come on, City.
What happened there?
They scored 6, Scott, and the other team didn't score at all. So,
what was it like?
6-0.
Was it a turning point, or was it just a capitulation from?
No, look. Obviously, when you lose 6-0, there's an element of capitulation. I don't think there's no getting away from that. But City were very good. They were 3-0 up in half an hour. Fiona Doherty was brilliant. Eva Mangan, with Fiona Doherty taking the pressure off her, was brilliant. Just fantastic performances all around. Derek Collin, Liam Carney have obviously had some form of an impact, and now it's just, can you push on and can you put back-to-back results together? That was 26 the game, so it was 25 games in the league without winning. So they're not used to winning. So now it's, can you push back-to-back games together, and they go away to Waterford next Saturday. Interesting game. Rumour reached the Las Damas section of TOTAP Towers that things are improving. Allegedly, there's now a squad playing budget in place and things like that.
Oh.
So everything that we hoped that Derek was going to bring, because we knew Derek wasn't going to come in and accept things the way they were. So, as I said, it's rumour, but, there isn't much rumour without truth a lot of the time as well. So if there is now a playing budget, it's small, but it's better than nothing, and it's a start, and, it can only be expanded on and getting bigger. So if Derek is getting those kind of things, then it's good news, and it's great news.
When did you meet up with Derek? During the week, or?
No, as I said, it was rumour. I haven't spoken to Derek in 6 months, I'd say. Longer. No, it's longer. I haven't spoken to Derek since he took the underage job at the club last year.
I heard from indirectly from one of the women's players today that they are very happy with how things have been going with Derek Collins so far. Apparently, everything is very positive, and they really see it as a turning point, that this is the beginning of something new.
Hopefully.
Great news.
Absolutely fantastic.
Good man,
fantastic.
Jeez, fair play.
We'll continue into Commie Watch, I guess.
Commie Watch with Ivan Draco on the Other Three Amigos podcast.
So as one former player becomes a hero, another former player departs. Former coach, former assistant manager, David Myler, guys, has headed back to Hull. And when I was thinking about this during the week, and I was like, it's unfortunate for David, because in 2 years' time, I think people will struggle to remember he was even here.
Who?
It's true, though. Not sure much of a mark was left on the club. I didn't know how it was going to work anyway. And it hasn't. But best of luck to him, though. Seriously, he's going to... Is it under 21's assistant?
Under 21 assistant as
they're a Premier League club now, that's bigger, I would say. I know it's mad. It probably is bigger. Because it's a stepping stone to the next level. Because if Hull City sacked their manager, maybe the under 21 manager gets the job and he gets the under 21 job. It is a stepping stone towards...
Stepping stone towards managing Ireland, obviously.
Obviously, sure.
Dom, as I said, unfortunately for David, and he's a former player, he's a Cork lad, he's all those things, and maybe he might, I presume at some stage he'll tell his story or how he saw it, and he might say, I was only the assistant, I was working under Ger Nash, and maybe David will come out and agree with the rest of us that Nash was just an ultimate disaster, and there was nothing he could do. He was just dragged down by Ger.
Yeah, that's very possible. I would love to hear from him. I would love to hear what he has to say about the whole experience. And, he was given a difficult hand. He was dealt a difficult hand by being put in as assistant to Ger Nash and being announced as assistant to Ger Nash only a couple of weeks after Ger Nash took the role. An inexperienced manager with an inexperienced assistant manager. That's not a fault of David Myler at all, because he can't help the fact that was his first job. You have to start somewhere, so obviously it was grand to give him a chance, but then from what I've heard on the grapevine and stuff, I don't know if he's done himself any glory in his time. I've heard certain things, but who knows whether they're true or not.
In terms of, listen, everybody knows the appointment wasn't Ger's appointment. It was basically Dermot Usher's. David interviewed the story was David interviewed for the manager's job, and so impressed during his interview that he wasn't offered the manager's job, but he was brought in as assistant manager. And then when Ger Nash left, he wasn't given the manager's job then either. Bobby Robson, God forgive me. Barry Robson was brought in, and David again was appointed as his assistant. But I guess, Wayne, the point I'm making is this was a Dermot Usher appointment that has lasted a year, and it's another body who's walked away from the club.
Yeah, but I don't really understand the circumstances. That could be Robson's choice too. They may not get on. They may not be compatible. And maybe Myler was just waiting for the right opportunity. And Nick, he lives in Hull, doesn't he, or around the area? So, look, best of luck to him. Like he was here during a shit time, and he's kind of leaving when it's getting a bit better. So maybe he turned it around a little bit. Who knows?
Yeah, okay. Well, look, in other news, the club advisor, Simon Grayson, has been out and about. He was on with Red FM and he was on with Trevor Welsh on 96 FM. I've heard a piece that was played on the Big Red Bench on 96 FM. On Red FM, my apologies. And I've heard the one with Trevor Welsh on 96 FM. I'll actually give my opinion first and you guys can think. I actually thought it was positive overall. I think I was worried. I don't remember, it was a Thursday or Friday. One of Barry's press conferences, either post or pre-game, where he said he hadn't seen much Premier Division football because the games were on the same time that our games were on. I was kind of going, Jesus Christ, there's nobody at this club familiarising themselves with what's happening in the Premier Division. How are we supposed to sign players if the manager isn't aware whether this player is good enough or going to be good enough for the Premier Division? And then Simon Grayson came out when he was talking to Trevor, and he spoke about he's in Dublin regularly at Premier Division games. He's watching players who they know are out of contract at the end of the season to see if they're good enough to bring into Cork City and see if deals can be done to get them in here. And I was like, actually, this is what we wanted. This is structure. This is people doing dedicated jobs. And if you look at this time 2 years ago, Wayne, there wasn't somebody who was in Dublin watching Premier Division games. There wasn't somebody who was watching players who were out of contract and deciding whether we should, make them an offer, whether they'd be good enough. And I go back to something I said 6 months ago about pre-contract agreements. Reading between the lines of what Simon was saying, that's kind of the vibe I got now. He was talking about the transfer window coming up. We're going to bring in players to get us over the line and maybe keep some of those players for next year. But I did get the impression that this was a window that we were possibly going to try and do some pre-contract stuff which would never be announced with Premier Division players, and then they won't be announced until January. I don't know what your take of the whole thing was, but I thought it was positive overall, definitely.
It's definitely positive because we should have heard this 6 months ago, wherever he started. My worry, the few red flags of we're not getting any players who are playing first-team football for Dublin clubs. These players are going to be on the bench. So how is he seeing these players? That's my question. He might see them for 20 minutes, but in this case, you're probably better off getting these players just watching them on screen. It's the players in lower divisions is the ones you get on pre-contracts if they're playing first team. The other kind of red flag was the lack of Liam Carney being mentioned. Like, who? First of all, Barry Robson should be picking the players. He should be saying, I want this player, you go check him. If Barry Robson's not doing that, that worries me, because I know he's a head coach, but to me, he's a manager, and he should have all the decisions. You've now got an advisor, you've got a director of football, you've got a manager and an owner who are all getting involved again. Is this like a new transfer committee and doing the same thing again? It's just a few red flags I see. The interview was good. At least he knew a lot of the players' names. He knew about the club. That was my fear, is he was flying in, flying out and wasn't really getting involved. He is getting involved. But the worry is, again, who's in charge?
Can I just say that I do think, like you're talking there about players and they'd money, like, no, there's plenty of players who are playing first team football in the Premier Division who are out of contract in the...
For Pats, Bows and Shells and willing to come to
there
us.
There is. Not, well, look, whether they come down to us or not. And he made that point. And again, it was a continuation of the old argument of it's not easy to get players out of Dublin, it's not easy to get players down to Cork. I kind of don't want to hear that shit anymore, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look, it's good. It is good. I'm just doing, like, you're being positive. I just got to raise a few red flags that I heard, and I just I worry again. There's 4 people, too many cooks again, is there? Because first, Barry Robson's not looking. Carney wasn't involved. It's an advisor. And we know Ursher's involved as well, as they always are. So there's 4 again, and is it another mini transfer committee that we're going through again?
Dominic, what way did you see it?
Yeah, I thought the exact same. Really, I thought overall it was a very positive interview, and you kind of come away with it thinking, okay, maybe we have a chance of being all right. But the overwhelming thing that stood out to me was the exact same thing as Wayne said. What I thought is, why is Simon Grayson the one looking at players? Is that not the director of football's job? it's the big argument of who signs the players, is the manager or the director of football? How is it the advisor to the board? Is that nitpicking at small things? Maybe, but the other side is, how does Liam Kearney feel about this if he knows that he was brought in as the director of football and then somebody else is off looking at players, scouting players as the advisor to the board, so going to the board saying you should sign this player and stuff.
He's not an advisor to the board, he's an advisor to Dermot Usher. I'll say it again, there is no functioning board of management at Cork City Football Club. There's an ownership, and that's it. Continue.
Do you not think that we should be getting scouts based in Dublin looking at players, then coming to Liam Kearney? Kearney has a look, and then it goes to Barry Robson. And unless he's a chief scout, unless Grayson is now Cork City chief scout, it just doesn't make sense. Again, I'm old school. I think as a manager, a director of football, I'll deal with, as long as he does all the football stuff. But it should be Kearney speaking with Robson, and maybe then going out to Grayson and go and have a look.
But
it doesn't sound that way.
I know, but you talk about a chief scout there, and let's say Grayson is fulfilling the role of chief scout. What's to say it's not working along the structure that you just said, that he doesn't go back to Kearney and then Kearney goes to Robson?
If you're coming out to the media telling how great everything is going, then say, yeah, I've taken up the role of being kind of scouting around the country. You know, an advisor, it's an advisor. An advisor is a fellow who just tells Dermot, what are you doing? Dermot, here's on the phone on a Saturday night, what do you think? I just don't understand.
I think you're getting very nitpicky, Scott.
No, I'm just
sorry.
You're being positive. I think it's great to have him too. I think it was well overdue. I'm really glad of his the information he has about the club. He's learned. I just worry that we're going through the same Damon Delaney, Dermot Usher, Aina, and Tim Clancy, just with a different format. That's my only worry.
Yeah,
I could be way off, but you have to raise red flags in this podcast.
It does seem to be like that is valid concern. To me, the big thing is Liam Kearney aware of this?
Of course he is.
Like what is his understanding of what's going on, or is he being undermined? Would he feel undermined?
Sorry, I don't 2 seconds. Okay, Liam Kearney is a first-time director of football. Like, if you step into a first-time role anywhere, you have to learn the role. You have to figure out how things work. I have no issue with Simon Grayson helping Liam Kearney out, if that's fundamentally what he's doing.
He wasn't mentioned anywhere on the piece. I don't think, was he? I don't think
he was. He said he was available for Dermot, and he was available for Liam for advice, and he was available to all of them and the rest of it. But I understand what you're saying. It
is a good thing. I'm just saying. I worry about the structure of it, how it's working. Yeah. How it's, you know.
But for me, if that's the case, what Decky said, that he's helping Liam Kearney as somebody who's new in the role, he's helping shoulder ropes, and this is an absolutely brilliant thing, because it's showing that Liam Kearney is going into this new role he's never done before, and he's not been thrown in at the deep end. He's given support.
But Tom,
that's a massive thing.
You can only discuss what was put out in the media, and that wasn't put out that way.
Yeah,
that's fair enough.
Yeah. You know, if he said, "Oh, I'm here helping Liam, and I'm just doing a bit of scouting because he's got his hands tied with other issues," that's fine. Say it, but you have to also analyze what people say. That's all. Like, it's no big deal. Like, there's no weird stuff going on. It's just what I got. You literally put into the group today. Listen to this, lads. We're going to discuss it. And that's what I took from that minute and 5 minutes. 10 minutes? 10 minutes?
8 minutes. 8.5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I took from it.
There was that. That's the one thing I took from it. The other thing that I took from it was he specifically mentioned Shells and Pats, that he was in Dublin looking at players, and he specifically referenced Shells and Pats. So I had to look through Shells and Pats teams to see what players' contracts were expiring at the end of the season. So I need to do a bit more work, dig a bit more into it to find out which ones are likely and not, see who he was looking at and stuff. But the other thing,
a lad there with Shells in Rat or in Bing or in Bingy Rat or something like that.
Never heard of him. He mustn't be any good. No, doesn't ring a bell. In Bollocks, is it?
In Bollocks.
Oh yes, I remember him. Yes, yeah.
He's injured a lot.
He's a prick.
Doesn't like to train.
To me, what stood out as well was that it seems we often, and Cork City fans in general, wonder Like, what is this guy's role at the club? Is he hands-on, or is he just there at the other end of the phone if Dermot has any questions and stuff? And it seemed I always thought it was the latter, that he didn't really have a role at the club, that he was just a friend of Dermot's who he was getting advice from. But it seems, after listening to that, then you're saying, okay, maybe he actually is contributing and benefiting the club in some ways, so that's positive. The big thing I liked that he said was that he mentioned being proactive as opposed to reactive, and referenced that we have perhaps been reactive in the past. And that's a massive thing. Like,
that was very good to hear.
Mm-hmm. But like, that's always thing, and we always say we want the club to come out and say that they fucked up, not because we want them to go, oh, we're so sorry, we're terrible, but because we want them to acknowledge that they fucked up so that they can put it right. And that's exactly what it is. They've said, we've been reactive, which is a bad thing. It means you're on the back foot constantly. Now we're going to try and get ahead, and we're going to start building a team. And I think that's brilliant. That's a breath of fresh air. That's what we need.
The whole week, it's the biggest week under Dermot Usher this week. 100%.
And you're getting the Mailbag holiday this weekend, or this year. That was a great week, wasn't it? Oh, no, I'm getting mixed up. That was a bad week.
We'll get to that again in a second, Wayne. The other thing he said was that he came in initially, he did a 6-week review of the structures at the club and how the club was running, etc., etc. And after that 6 weeks, he did a report for the owners, as he said. And one of the biggest recommendation from that report from him was to put a director of football in place. And I kind of looked at it and I went, like, at that stage, why does it take a report from Simon Grayson to get us to the stage that we get a director of football? The fan base were saying it for 3 years. We were saying it on this podcast with 4 years. And all of a sudden, and is it, Scott, because it wasn't the fan base saying it, it was somebody else, it was a fresh voice, but it's something that clearly should have been done a whole long time before it was done. But now that it has been done, let's just kick on.
He did do it, and he was burnt big time. So I imagine he went, I'll do this myself. And that was the second burn. He burnt himself the second time. So the third time, he took the advice and did the right thing. So I understand why it took so long. I can see why he gave up after the first one, because he was like, this just didn't work. It was just the wrong person he picked.
But he the first time as well, the director of football was given the manager's job in a very short space of time.
He messed up the first time, and I'm sure he understands that. And he goes, you know what? I'll do it myself. Spent 1.5 years, 2 years doing it himself, and made it worse. Grayson came in. This is his third shot. Grayson's worked. He got Barry Robson in. He's got Carney in. So, do you know what? It shows to me he's learning. But learning.
Simon Grayson also recruited the manager. That was part of his brief the last time, and he said it straight out. He recruited the manager, he spoke to other people, and he recruited Barry Robson.
But Usher recruited Grayson. That's the key. Without that part, the rest doesn't fall into place.
Yeah, but is it like there's clear signs here, and you just said it's been the best week of Dermot Usher's reign. I think that's correct. I think it's, the women won 6-0, the men won 4-0. We'll get to Colin O'Brien in a second. The Brazil night was a huge success. There's signs there that things are changing with the implementation and the appointment of football people to key roles. Like, you have to be positive. You're 15 points clear at the top of the first division.
Declan, he deserves praise. Like, he deserves praise. Dermot Usher deserves praise, without doubt. And here he's getting it from me.
Yeah, 100%
I agree. He's done without his piece. Now, many pieces fell and burnt before. This one piece that's worked. Just needs to know is let them do their job. I remember Simon Grayson as a player. I used to like Villa years ago, and he was Leicester City. I remember Simon Grayson. Decent player, defender, has a decent enough managerial career. Let's see what happens. Again, I'm delighted he's more involved. I thought it was just kind of a box tick in, and that's the way the club portrayed it. It's their issue for not portraying it properly. This interview should have happened week 1 when he got here. Maybe not week 1. Week 6 after this check at the club. And now it's happened. It's great news. It is good news.
One last thing on this, because he said one other thing as well that caught my ear, and I'm not coming from this podcast point of view in any way, shape or form. but there was something about criticism and whatnot. And Simon said, you're better off where people are critical after you win because they want you to be better and they want you to play better, get better players, improve week on week, year on year. And that's better for a football club than losing 3-0 and nobody opens their mouth. And I just sat there and I went, we're saying it with 3 fucking years and finally somebody at the club says it and understands it. And Liam Kearney knows that. Colin O'Brien knows it. Simon Grayson knows it. Barry Robson knows it. And now you're hoping, well, if Simon Grayson is advising the owners, surely now the owners start to understand the mentality of a fan base. And you're better off to be criticised for not being better than you are to lose 3-0 and nobody opens their mouth.
But Dickie, the big thing about that is all those people that you just listed, they're football people. They understand the sport and they understand what it's about. And they understand criticism isn't personal, it's standards. That's how you set the standards. And Barry Robson mentioned it as something similar in his post-match analysis or his post-match interview on Friday, that he kind of said the same thing, that something about the fans setting the standards or something, but like that's football, and that's why when we come on here and we give out about and we rip into the club sometimes, it's not that we don't, it's not personal, it's because we understand football and we know what we want for our club.
Speaking of football people, guys, Colin Terrific O'Brien is back at the club, academy director, Liam Kearney's old job. Another fantastic appointment, it has to be said. Now, I know there's a kind of a thread there that you could only work for Cork City if you've played for them or you've been at the club before, but like Colin's an international underage manager for over 10 years. If you want somebody to guide your youth development, then there's nobody better than somebody who understands what it is to play international football at that level, Dom.
Honestly, like when it comes to what best case scenario for an appointment for this role, I think we've landed it. Like Barry Robson, probably a good choice of manager. Best case scenario, probably not him. Colin Terrific O'Brien is absolutely the best choice, in my opinion. Best choice for this role. I think he's brilliant. Like I said, he's got the experience of competing at a high level, but at that same age, or at the kind of academy and underage categories. I think it's brilliant.
Scotty, there's finally a coach at the club.
Who's he? Who's he?
Who's who?
You have to call him Wayne.
Sorry. Oh, Jesus. Right. Okay. My apologies. Wayne, there's finally a coach at the club who will be able to understand and tell people how good a player I was back in my day, because Colin coached me.
What age group was that?
Man, I was 16, I'd say. Colin was 17. Maybe I was 15, he was 17. He was leaving cert in Farn Ferris, I was junior cert. And it was the only time there was a soccer team put together in Farn Ferris, and it caused World War III. But Colin and another chap by the name of Paul Moore coached us. And I think I've said this before. Even then, you knew Colin had something as a coach. Like, he was only 17, like, and he just... Brilliant. I haven't met Colin in 30 years.
Great. He was a great player. She started off at right wing, wasn't it, for us? I think this is the biggest signing Usher has made. And I think it's magnificent. And Dermot Usher's getting praise again from me. I'm sure Carney was involved. But to get this over the line it's nothing short of magnificent. It really is. And like, that's the first time I've gone, okay, there's a chance here. Like, there's a chance that we could get out of this. Was it Dominic asked me last week, could I see Cork City challenging in my lifetime? I said, no, I couldn't. Things like this make it possible. Because, yeah, we've moaned about ex-players leaving the club in the last few years. Like, a lot of them left. But there's others coming back. Better quality, too, I think. Like Carney, Colin, you know what I mean? They're big names, like. Barry Robson, Grayson. Like, it's all looking good. Positivity for me, anyway, today.
100%, absolute positivity. And as I said, I think it was originally said in the forum by someone, it was the best week of Dermot Usher's reign, and I don't think anybody can... Huh?
Usher as Jesus, and we're all praising him. We should have the front cover.
Absolutely. Listen, come here. We've always said it's not personal, and when something good happens, we will say it and we will big it up.
It got personal though, didn't it?
And this would maybe got personal.
Let's not talk bullshit now either. It did get personal. It did. Let's not be all sunshine lollipops and.
They came for us.
That's what I'm saying. It did get personal. But no. Magnificence.
Yeah. On the air, it's never been personal.
That's just true.
Look, it's one of those things. If you're on a Cork City Fans podcast, you have to call it as it is from your own opinion. If the club fuck up, you call them out on it. The club haven't fucked up here, so we're just going to say it as it is, basically. If it's good, we'll say it's good. If it's bad, we'll say it's bad. However they want to take it up, if they want to get personal when we criticise them, that's one thing.
But the thing is, now, this is the best week of Dermot's reign.
Yeah.
Next week has to be better. The week after has to be better. Do you know? No, you're not going to see it publicly, but in the background, things just have to keep chucking over. Have to.
It all started when we had little or no Commie Watch in a few weeks. That's how I realised something's changing here now. Stupid things aren't happening. And it's growing and growing and going. And now what this is about, July 1st, right? This time last year, we had 3 players in the door already. We had Fikar Keller, we had Rory Feely, and we had Charlie Lutz. Tomorrow, actually, 23rd.
David Adams as well.
He was the 2nd of July, I think, wasn't he? Came after.
Yeah, it was just into it.
So we need names in the door by July 1st.
Definitely.
Did you not take it from Grayson's thing that wasn't really going to happen?
I've had enough time now. I think we need a few players in ready to go for it. Yeah, you can't bring in 10 players in December. You can't. You bring in 5 now and 5 then.
We're definitely bringing in players.
You could announce 3 contracts.
Yeah,
because they have to tell their club that the contract has been signed by a certain date or something.
Yeah,
so that's when it's supposed public. So you can announce it. There's none of this. You have to wait till January 1st bullshit. Doesn't exist anymore. There's a regulation put in that you have to let the club know. That's how.
But to be fair, Scott, there's no club like Cork City are not going to announce we've signed Wayne Mullins from Shelbourne on a pre-contract agreement when you still have 3 months of the season left to play at Shelbourne. It's just not fair on the player because you're going to get it from the stands and then you're going to have to be left out of. I think there's kind of an understanding that that's not the way it works. That's not how you do business.
Look at how that worked out with Carl Shepherd going to Dundalk. How that essentially ended the transfer.
I don't know. I think you're. If a player's leaving. And normally, don't the club announce it? The other club.
So they know it would be late. It would be after the season finishes. Obviously, things leak out and you're going to hear it. You know what I mean?
We'll announce it anyway before anyone does. So
it would depend on the player, to be honest with you. I'm not sure I'd come on and say everything. Just to be fair
if I hear a player, I'm saying it. I don't care.
I just won't tell you so. You're out of the group. You're out of the transfer group now.
Off the transfer committee.
Dermot, if you want a name leaked, come to me.
Just very quickly, go back on one thing you said there about. Come on. You said about how this is the best week, but next week has to be better, and the week after that has to be better. Just back on something I said earlier about the difference between football people and not football people. Non-football people would take that up as that's unreasonable, that's unrealistic goal setting. Whereas football people would say, well, yeah, that's what football is. That's the standards. That's the minimum.
Yeah, you've had 4 years.
That's fair enough. Just very quickly as well, Commie Watch. Howie was out and about. I knocked across it. I don't have an Instagram account, but somehow I ended up there on ours through it. And he was doing this thing with the players, which I thought was fantastic. He basically fooled them when they were coming into Bishopstown into training. And he just said to them, listen, I want you to tell me when 3 seconds is up and I'll stop the watch and we'll see who gets closest to the 3 seconds. And he had 2 screens in the phone. And when the player said stop, he flicked it and the phone was always stopped at 3 seconds, So every player walked away thinking, yes, but I got it bang on the 3 seconds, And it was just very well done. But I was thinking afterwards, Dan, at what stage, how many players does it take to walk into the dressing room going, I got it bang on, I got it bang on, I got it bang on before they all go, and how he's after having all our pants down here and making a fool out of a lot of us.
I wish I saw it. Didn't see it.
It's brilliant. In fairness, it is very funny, and it's just such a harmless kind of prank to play. And but it's one of those things. Even when they do eventually go, like there's three of them going, "Hey, we all got it. Okay, there has to be something going on here." Like they'd have a good laugh at that. Then it raises the spirit. So I think it's brilliant. But it kind of reminds me of something I saw before. Some basketball coach got two groups of players and put blindfolds on the weaker team, put blindfolds on them and got them to throw the ball into the basket, into the hoop, whatever they call it. And every time that they throw it, obviously they get a way off, but everyone would start cheering as if they got it, as if they actually scored it. And then afterwards, because they had such confidence, they're like, "Oh, I got it! I kept getting it. This is great." Then they'd start trying it, and they'd get more points. And then the ones who were trying it without the blindfolds on were missing it because they were under pressure. Then, so it's a good way to bring up confidence too.
Amazing story, Tom.
That was a very boring story.
We'll move on. Jack and Ori with Tom.
Stick him in the penalty box for a while there now, I think.
Cork City 4, Treaty United 0. Before we start reviewing this, I'm going to say it's 6 clean sheets in a row now. Actually, since the night you two superstars called for our keeper to be dropped for the forthcoming Longford game, he hasn't conceded a goal since. So I'd like to congratulate you both on
an international call-up as well,
to achieve 6, and a national call-up to achieve 6 clean sheets in a row. The role should not be sniffed at.
Yeah, that's my FAI goalkeeping C licence going to good use there.
Literally couldn't have got it actually more wrong than what we did. I did.
But hang on now, actually. Or you made him have a look and think, I need to up my performance here because I'm going to be dropped, and he's gone 6 games now without conceding a goal. That's the way I would look at it, and I think that's the way it actually went, to be honest with you. Keats is 5 and 4 games. Can I just go back to the Wexford game last week, because I wasn't on last week and I listened to the pod, and there was 2 things I wanted to raise with you. One, Matt Murray got a lot of stick, probably
from
the best word.
From 2 lads.
And my take listening to it was, nobody mentioned that he wasn't playing in the wing. He was started as a back-to-goal number 9, which is not Matt Murray's game. And I just want to put it out there, like, yeah, he wasn't great. None of them were really great. But if we're going to start a player like Matt Murray, let's start him in his natural position and not start him as a back-to-goal number 9. And that links into the other question I had.
Can I challenge you on that just before you go to the next one?
Yeah, you can, of course.
These games are when to try this stuff. Didn't work. Good to try it.
I know, but he's played a lot of minutes as a 9 recently, rather than playing on the wing. And the other part of the observation was like, why the fuck did Keats not start that game in Wexford? Why did he spend 75 minutes on the bench and only come on for the last 15 minutes? It made no sense. When I saw the team selection, I was like, what in God's name is going on here? And then he comes off the bench, he scores, and he's back in the side for Friday night. Do you know? It's like, I don't know, I just didn't understand it. But look, as I said, I have no idea. Stuff happens, I guess. But that leads into Friday night, 4-0. Keats did score. Hans got 2. Cillian Murphy got a beautiful, beautiful goal. All in the second half. Which is the best goal? I think it's probably Cillian's, is it? Just for the individual.
The finish.
Which one of his?
Sublime. The top corner. 1-on-1 with the keeper.
Yeah, George, it is tough. They were actually all good goals. Now, they all kind of came from treaty mistakes, but that's not our problem. And I thought, I really liked that Cillian Murphy goal because of the fact that when he picked the ball up and he carried it from midfield, but he actually lost it at one point and then went and got it back. And I think it's just fucking class. Like, how many players are able to do that? It's for a 16-year-old to do it. I'd have to give goal of the game to Cillian Murphy. But then, yeah, it's hard. Like, even Keating's goal was finished so well. Like, all 4 goals were just brilliant goals.
Our front 3 have 29 goals this season in the league. That's seriously impressive.
Mm-hmm. And then when you think about that, like Keating hadn't scored. Keating had like 2 goals in the first however many months, and Shawnee hasn't scored in over 2 months. So
who was it said Keating was finished?
1.5. 1.5. Who said he was finished?
Yeah, they see it in a form or something, didn't they?
Someone said nobody on here, because we've always been
in your face.
We've always been very defensive and
pro-Keating.
supportive of him.
Always will be. I'm taking up next season, lads. I'm taking him up with us. Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, listen. Yeah, he's.
And you know, if it was a choice between Mpango and Keating, I'd still take Keating. I know it's mad. I just would.
Well, Hans, Hans has a nose for the goal, and it's a long time since
he
we've
should be
seen
playing that on the wing, like.
Yeah, we do have to remember with Hans, like, I rate him. I really like him. He's just he's a breath of fresh air on the pitch. But we've seen this so many times with players who are really good in the first division and can't cut in the Premier Division. At least with Shawnee and Keating, they have done it in the Premier Division.
Yeah, but you know,
like, you bring with you, so you got okay. I need 4 strikers.
I'll treat them.
Yeah, I need 4 strikers, right?
I'll treat.
We're not getting more than 4. You know, we're not getting more than 4. Do you bring all 3 and just get one more in?
Yeah.
Backup.
Yeah.
That's mad, considering like 5-6 weeks ago we were hounding them out at the club.
I don't think we were ever hounding the front 3 out. I don't think we are.
Well, Shawnee and Keating, anyway, we were definitely in favour of keeping. We've had supported them all season. And Mpango, there was a bit that he was a bit ropey, but that's something that Barry Robson spoke about in his interview afterwards. He said that at start, and this is something I noticed too, and I was saying it to a lot of people, was at the start of the season, Mpango had a habit of dropping in when he should have been making a run down the wing, and Robson said that it's something that he spoke to him about, and he's encouraged him to start making those runs in behind, and he's gotten a lot of success from that, which that's a huge credit to Barry Robson, and it also goes to show that Mpango can learn. So it's not a case of he's just gotten lucky lately. He's changed his game and he's getting the benefits from it.
He has learned. He now knows he has the speed, stretch defences, running behind, as Barry said, don't come short for it. There's no need to come short for it. Spin, turn, go, and let somebody find you, there's also an element, I think, if you have to reward players who have outstanding first division seasons. Do you know what I mean? And
I agree.
We'll only find out whether Hans is able for the Premier Division or not when he's there. But we've seen it before with players, like when guys have a nose for goal, it almost doesn't matter what division they're playing in. They just turn up at the penalty shot to tap one into the penalty spot to tap one in, or they turn up in the 6-yard box. I wouldn't be playing him on the wing in the Premier Division because I think he gets destroyed. But as a finisher in the box with a nose for goal, I think you have to give him that opportunity. You have to. Can I just back it up to the start of the game before we go any further? Because we're talking about these 4 brilliant goals. And it was, I know we're playing 3D and I know they were bottom. Magnificent second half performance. How do you compare and contrast that with what we watched up to half time?
It's horrendous.
So, and again, to go back to what Barry said, he mentioned that it wasn't Cork City, it wasn't them, and that the second half was more of the performance that we've seen all season. I'd seriously challenge that. If you go back to last week against Wexford, what was that more like? Was it more like the first half or the second half? Go back to, take Finn Harps out, that was an exception, but go back to the Athlone, the Longford games before the break. That was more similar, more in line with the first half than the second half. I would say the first half was what we've seen all season. And even in the second half, like, this might be very harsh because people have been going mad about how great of the second half it was. After we got the third goal, it died off. Now, that's fine. We just scored 3 goals. The game was done. It's okay for it to die off. Let's not forget how the overall game was. It wasn't the most exciting game, other than the Brazilians.
Were we wrong with
we forgot to mention in Commie Watch? Yes,
how wrong we were.
We were meant to mention that in Commie Watch,
lads.
And we'll put our hands up and say, like, you can understand how we came to the conclusion that if you try a promotion without any actual promotion to it, then how's it going to work? But it worked out absolutely brilliantly. If it wasn't for I was sitting in the Donny Ford, and I never thought I'd hear myself say that the Brazil fans in the Donny Ford are making a lot of noise. What a weird scenario, but it was fucking unreal.
But come here, the Brazil aspect, it worked, right? From the Brazil aspect, it worked. But as an overall attendance, it's the lowest of this season. It's the lowest in a number of years, 2,105. And if the Brazilians weren't there, it's going to be about 1,600.
Yeah, there was about 300 or 400 Brazil fans.
Fucking worrying, like. That is very worrying.
It's very worrying. But again, we always have it, the mid-season slump. It always happens. There's nothing exciting. 1,600
souls when, you know.
But this is why I think if you need to have... Well, I think Tommy Dunn's time it was probably bad. But that's 20 years ago nearly, Jesus. But I think we need to do something like July, get players in, get the excitement going.
Do you know what the club should really do? And it's probably a bit too late. Well, no, it's absolutely too late now. But what they should have done is capitalised on that great promotion. So they had this brilliant promotion where they got a load of probably first-time fans in who made a difference, who added to the atmosphere. So what they should have done is try to keep them by doing something like if you have a ticket for the last match, did you get a discount for the next match?
100%.
So if they did something like that, it would be great. It's too late now, and
get some Brazilian food stalls in for the next game. Get them back.
Focus on getting these lads back. I never thought you'd find a scenario where when players are scoring goals, they're running over to Donny Ford to celebrate in front of the fans who are chanting. There's chanting coming from the Donny Ford. Forgot how to make noise after COVID.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I love it.
Hans celebration. I mean, he obviously went and he learned how to salsa. With the intention of scoring goals and doing a salsa celebration in front of the Brazilians, like I think that's brilliant then as well, Wayne. It's you know what I mean? Like let's play into what's happening around the place. And obviously Hans, I think if you knew him, I'd say he's one of those lads who just spends all his life with a big smile on his face, laughing and joking and just enjoying his life, you know. And it's fantastic to see him score 12 goals.
I just wish he was up front because he'd have 25 goals now.
You know, okay.
Remember the 3-4-3, the three lads up front, number 9s. It's fucking simple. Like, just do it for one game, Barry. Please, come on.
Just for the fun of it, please.
Just for the fun of it. Let's see what happens. If we lose 5-0, look.
Then we played a front three we played them in the front three. Now, wasn't this 3 number 9s?
Narrow,
and it worked
inside
out.
the box. You cannot leave the box.
But it was an experiment to try them all as a front three. But yeah fuck it, go for it. We experimented there. It worked. Let's experiment some more.
Yeah.
Luke Downey came off the bench, got 22 minutes, replaced Charlie Lyons, another young centre back. Obviously, Donald O'Connor has come in and just absolutely nailed it, and he made a brilliant tackle in the first half. Who was it? Was it Ben Feeney? Was just going to basically knock the ball into an empty net to make a 1-0, and O'Connor tackled him, and then he had a quick look at the referees to make sure he wasn't going to give us a penalty. He's taken to it like a duck to water with.
Absolutely. Like, he signed a 3-year deal, didn't he?
Yeah, they extended up to the end of 29 there by all accounts.
So, like, again, getting these players in, like, we were hammering the club start the season for not embedding more in. It's happening now. We're 12 points clear, so the shackles are off a bit and get these players in. If we can get 3 or 4 more players with 6, 7, 8 appearances as sub, it's good for the club. Now, can anyone do it in the Premier? I don't know, but look, we're trying at least.
We desperately need a Cillian Murphy announcement, don't we?
It's not going to happen. It'd be done by now if it was. No, it'd be done by now if it was.
Oh, well, he's contracted for next season.
You can't expect to play players and then hope they sign the contract after. You sign up beforehand. And then they're tied down, in my opinion. You can't play them and go, oh, they're good, we better sign them on a contract. He should have been given at the start of the season. As you said,
It was,
four-figure sum.
It's tied to the end of next season anyway.
No, long term, like as in the four-figure sum we're talking about, which is increasing 20% every year.
Yeah, no, 100%, and remains to be seen whether it can be done, as you said, or will be done. Brodie Lee, we were talking about all these young fellas making appearances. Brodie Lee has completely disappeared off the map, Tom. I have no idea. I have no information. Is he injured, or has it just become apparent to him that he wasn't going to get minutes and he's taken a decision to step away or something?
I haven't heard anything about it. He hasn't been on the bench. He's just disappeared after first year. He was playing with the under-20s recently enough. I didn't check in the last couple of weeks, but is he still there? I don't know. It's a shame. You can tell he was a very talented player. He clearly had the potential to be a great footballer, but I don't know, somehow something's just not worked out, which is a shame.
Well, maybe he's injured because he wasn't with the 20s either on Saturday, so he may well be injured.
Did he pick up an injury in the Munster Senior Cup final, actually? I feel like there might have been something.
Right, okay.
We'll say that's it. We'll put it down to that for now.
Yeah, that's fair. And listen, that's fair enough. Okay. So, look, 4-0. Is there anything else we want to take out of the game? Like, I know, Tom, you said it's the first half was reminiscent, but how do we start so badly? I mean, Treaty come down and we make them look like Brazil. They're bottom of the table. They should have been 2 up. And this is the danger. Premier Division, if that was Premier Division, we're 3 down at half time. And there's no coming back to 4-3. It's a completely different game. You get away with so much in this division. We got away with it in Wexford. We got away with it first half the other night. We all know that. But why did we start so poorly? Why was that first half as bad as it was?
It's really hard to know. Like, you'd wonder, like, the back four and the goalkeeper had the sun in their eyes and stuff. You'd wonder, could that have played a part? But it's
I'm not really even going to fucking recognise that now with a response, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like, it is really clutching at straws. But I don't know. It's how is this case so often? It was the same against Wexford. We said Wexford was the worst first half that we've seen. Some are saying that this was the worst first half that we were seeing. It seems every first half is going to be the worst first half that we've seen all season. How is it that it takes us so long to warm up and get into the game? I don't know, but fuck, there needs to be something to inject a bit of urgency. And you'd wonder, having a few extra players who have higher standards and can challenge people for their positions in the starting 11, could that help? It's possible, but I don't know. I mean, Barry Robson said that he basically tore into the players at halftime and told them that this isn't the way we play. But I mean, it is the way we play, but whatever he said worked anyway, so could not have said that at the start.
That is true. Okay, we leave it there. That's the end of the first half. We will be back to open the mailbag. I don't think there's an SB of the week this week, but we have a Bray Wanderers home game on Friday night to preview, so join us after this ad from our dedicated sponsors, whom I completely forgot to mention at the start. Anyway.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. and hackers trying to steal your data. They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/TOTAP for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.
Welcome back to part 2 of this week's podcast. It's time to hear from Pat.
Postman Pat.
Right, into the
Did any of you get the
Patreons.
McDonald's mugs, the World Cup mugs yet?
No, absolutely not.
I got Limeen Yamal.
What is it? You go into McDonald's and
You buy a Big Mac meal, but you pay extra for a cup. I know. I always think those fellas who have cups from like Italian 90 or US 94 keep them and don't drink out of them. So in this one, I'm going to sell in 40 years' time for like.
He was in
€10?
Turkey, was he?
Yeah, well, he's got braces, I think, doesn't he?
Is it? They're very
They put
white
yellow
there,
braces,
like
which
it's
kind of-
very white. Maybe McDonald's did the painting in Turkey.
Hey, watch the World Cup, lads.
yes,
Yeah, it's been enjoyable. It's
I've
been
missed 2
enjoyable.
games.
you've missed 2 games. You were
Yeah.
trying to keep
Yeah, I
full
missed
sweep.
Friday night. It was Tunisia. I think it was a Friday night at 5 a.m. And I missed
No, that's understandable.
one more. Was it Monday? Saturday? I don't. It was 2 a.m. I missed. So I love the group stages. I'm the opposite of most people. They're all waiting for the quarters, finals, and stuff. I prefer the group stages because you can see the team 3 times and you can actually make a proper decision. Who's
And
gonna win.
you know
Goal
what?
Fest.
It is actually great because it's so unpredictable. Like, you could have assumed that Cape Verde would lose all their matches. They're unbeaten against Spain and Uruguay. Like, there's so many really good games you just can't predict.
Last night's game was a cracker. Cape Verde against
It's a very good game.
Oh, big Roberto Lopez fans. Right.
Always legend.
Get man of the match.
We'll keep moving. We'll stick with the Cork City stuff now, not to get sidetracked. Patreons.
Who's going to win it, lads?
Ooh,
The first division, Cork City, I'd say.
The World Cup.
Cape Verde. I don't know.
Mexico.
That'd be
Of
lovely,
course.
wouldn't it? Oh, I'd love that.
No, I mean, I don't know who's going to win. It's actually going to be wide open. It's going to be wide open.
Yeah.
I fear
It
our
is
cousins across the water might have a good crack at it.
Fuck them.
But they won't. When they made a good side. France are probably the best side I've seen in it so far.
France were very good, yeah. Argentina are looking good. I didn't think they would be. I thought they were quite aging.
No attacking output. No attacking output bar Messi.
Messi,
Scored twice now
yeah.
again against Austria a while ago. Obviously he missed the penalty. But they just they're too dependent on him, I think. Anyway, back to the Patreon questions. What's the deal with people at the club being able to fail upwards? Myers now swanned off back to Hull, while his buddy, Jor Nash, he called him something else, but I'm going to say Jor Nash, is living it up in Scandinavia.
Does it rhyme with Nash, does it?
It does, yeah. Last year, these two did their best impression of Laurel and Hardy as City went down. How have they both ended up with better gigs? Have they ended up with better gigs as the first part of the question?
They have. Come
You
on.
think so?
They have. No one can say it isn't. Like, Swedish champions. Champions League next season.
But he's only putting out cones there, like.
Doesn't matter. It's still better than this gig. Come on. We're not the club. We're a first division club now. And you're your club.
It comes down to perspective. Like, to
Who
me
would
personally,
who would you rather go? Get your loyalty out of the situation now. You got offered 3 jobs. What would you take?
honestly, if there was any job that I could ever have in life, it'd be manager of Cork City.
Because
I
you support
wouldn't
them.
trade-
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
take,
but
take,
like,
take your.
I suppose they're not.
I'll be honest with you, and you're going to say I'm biased now and whatnot, but I have a hard time believing that assistant manager at Hull City's under 21s is a bigger or better job than Cork City manager.
No,
It's
it's just,
probably comparable.
He was assistant manager at Cork City.
But you said pick which of the
Okay,
3
sorry.
jobs.
Pick the roles.
Yeah.
Okay, so Myler as assistant to Cork City or assistant to under 21s, or Nash. Is he assistant or he's assistant at the club or manager Cork City?
Look, I mean, as I
You know
said,
what I'm right, like?
but working in adult football and men's football is much bigger than working at under 21 level, especially as an assistant at under 21 level.
No.
I would say
But
like under
Nash definitely
21
has a bigger
level
job anyway.
is under 21 level is very much competitive. Like it isn't player development. Like that is about winning. It is a very, very high level. But like, where would you rather be? He's from Cork, so would you not rather be in Cork or in Hull?
He lives in Hull, though.
His family's in Hull. His family's in England.
That's
How have
just
they
sad.
both ended up with better gigs? Okay, seeing as we think like described as Laurel and Hardy here last year, how have both ended up with better gigs than with?
Tim Clancy probably has a better gig now off the ball. Call a spade here, like.
No, he doesn't. Like, have they ended up? Yeah, whether they've ended up with better gigs is debatable or not. But how have they ended up at big jobs? Would say. I don't care really. It's not our problem anymore.
You can literally see David Moyler as manager of Hull City in like a year.
No, you can't. Their
manager gets sacked, right? The other 21 manager takes over. He fucking gets sacked. And then Moyler goes, I get the gig as caretaker for 6 games. I'm just saying it can happen. He could be caretaker manager for the last 2 games of the Premier League season.
Will somebody in Hull take photographs for his Instagram? Scott's just laughing when he's saying
at least the registration plate's gone.
I am being
He
facetious.
was the guy I saw. I can say it now. He was the guy I saw in Centra with the... What was the reg again, lads?
M3YL3R or something.
And then... And do you know AJ Bridges' full name? I found this last week. Yeah.
Not connected at all.
I don't know. Andrew...
Oh yeah, Andrew James or something.
No, it's not. Where is it? Aidan James Bridge.
Yes, Aidan James.
Like, this ruins it for me.
What are we doing? Are we now mocking fellas' names?
No. Okay, take that out.
Is this where we're at now?
Take that out, actually.
Any Aidens listening to the pod, we do apologise. Scotty doesn't like your names. We'll move on. Next question. There's nothing coming out. You said it. No, just fucking stand there.
No, you'd be cute.
While we're on it, because I didn't want to mention it earlier when we were talking about David Moyler leaving, but now that we've already mentioned his number plate, the fact that he never changed it to an Irish plate, does that suggest that he never planned on sticking around
home?
He
could have just said that he was living abroad for a certain amount of time, and you don't have to change it here for... Actually, no, you have to change after 3 months, don't you?
3 months. But if he was serious about sticking around the Cork City long term, then would he not have
very good
more
point,
permanent
Tom.
setup?
Fucking Murder She Wrote there.
From time to time.
What's her name again in Murder She Wrote? Jessica Fletcher.
No idea, but
Scotty knows all the grannies. Scotty knows all the grannies. Another Patreon question. At just over the halfway point in the season, who was in team of the season so far? Do we dominate it, or would you swap players? Also to Dom, fuck Beara and Drogheda Rangers up the Lawyer Rovers women's team. I have no idea. That's some kind of West Cork code, no, but
Lawyer Rovers are a team in West Cork League.
Team far too many West Cork lads supporting us. Like it's Cork City. This isn't West Cork FC. Like, go back down to your clubs.
Turn people away.
Leave us alone. Like,
we're never going to turn people away.
When Kieran McCormack came into Treaty, the first thing, her intention when she came in was she wanted to set up a League of Ireland team in West Cork.
It would never work.
That's what I was going to ask you, Dom. Would it work?
No, sure. It's a junior league in the first place, so it couldn't because it's too. Like, it's such a big place, and I did think about it, I've thought about it, but like, even if you think about it, there's not many players being produced through West Cork. There's not that many West Cork players. I know there's likes of, who have we produced?
But just
Ronan Harley and...
Yeah, but like, forget about the
Denzel
players.
Fernandez.
Like, would it work as a concept? Would you, if there was a facility, would you get 2,500
Where would you go? Where would you play? Skibbereen or somewhere?
Probably would be Skibbereen is the best pitch. Castleac is a very good pitch as well. Castleac are based kind of near Bandon.
Is it a real place?
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's Brinny. It's near Bandon, basically.
Dominic just makes up these names and just
like, don't exist.
Yeah, it's like
Brinny. What's Brinny?
I didn't name it, but that's where Castleac are based.
Okay, my job is to keep you guys on point. So, just over the halfway point in the season, who's in the team of the season so far? Now, I cheated because I did actually see this come in earlier on. And I said, I'll help the lads out here because, you know.
It's easy. It's Cillian Murphy in Pongo. That's it, lads. Sorry to be harsh.
In the team of the season, in the first division team of the season.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Full 11, really.
Yeah. I went to SofaScore and got the SofaScore ratings for the season. And their team of the year would be Tim Martin, who's the Cove goalkeeper, in goal.
Okay. I'd probably go Derek Kavanagh.
Éanna Clancy from UCD, Conor Tourish from Finn Harps, Charlie Lyons and Conor Drynan as back four. Midfield, Kieran B in UCD, Ben McCormack, Bray, Greg and Cillian Murphy, and Shawnee and Hans up top. That would be the SofaScore team of the year. I think, not sure about Kieran B in, to be honest with you. Ben McCormack's had a good season at Bray.
Ben McCormack would probably have to be there.
Is there anyone in this country who watches every single League of Ireland game? First division game?
No, that's why you use things like SofaScore with the stats that you know, they do all that for you. That's why I went there.
Also watching the highlights. And you can know from watching our own games. But like, it is a very good question, and it is a very good point. But sometimes I can't think off the top of my head now. Like, I like Derek Kavanagh for UCD. Like Hugh Smith, thought he's had a good season.
Okay, I'm going to move on because Dom is struggling.
We'll come back to it.
No, we'll move on. Move on, lads. We don't come back. We'll go backwards. We go forwards.
Okay. We won't reference 2 years ago anymore. So what happened in the transfer window 2 years ago? Lads, genuine question: how the fuck do you keep going and making this shit show somewhat interesting? Is he saying the pod is a shit show that we try to make interesting?
Because we all hate each other. That's why.
Referencing something else. Personally, my record watching City live this season, home or away, is 0. It's fucking painful and putrid, to be honest. Longest I've managed is 13 minutes on the app. As Dom said, and I wholeheartedly agree, we're going to be ass-whipped next season, referencing speed, and with this complacent squad, no urgency. Okay, there's a lot of negativity here, and we're not doing... Dermot's going to be too tight to bring in new players. Not so sure about that. Changes needed from the owners down. I've watched Derry, Shamrocks, Bows, Galway and Shells, and we're just so far away from that level.
Why would you watch those clubs and not Cork City? That's my question.
I don't know.
Sure, you're
watching Cork City, want to watch good standard of football.
But you have to keep your eye on what's happening up in that
division as well. You can't say I watched 30 minutes of Cork City, but I've watched Bows, Shells, Pats. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me. If you're into League of Ireland, you'll watch your hometown club.
Sorry for the long text, but I'm fucking livid still to see where our proud club is in 2026. Yo United or Rob Roy Rovers it is.
He is
Don't
right.
give a flying fuck what Dermot or anybody else thinks of the club over this honest appraisal. I won't call out his name, but people can guess.
Good old Billy.
Like Scotty has no decorum whatsoever. Like, you know,
he doesn't mind.
That's why Wayne is here tonight. Right.
No, he is right, but you have to grab the positives. You can't be negative when it's been probably the biggest. If we were negative tonight, like, you might as well shut the pod down. There's no point in doing it.
Okay, let's see where we were with questions for the mail. Like, the mailbag was pretty empty last week, lads. It was actually frightening. It was just like, people are turning off. There's no engagement anywhere.
That's why Simon Grayson did the interview. He saw it and he went, "Oh,
I need to help out the lads at TOTAP."
Yeah.
Do City have a centre half good enough for the Premier Division? And will Donal O'Connor be ready for the step up?
Feely's good enough.
Yeah, Feely's good enough. Donal O'Connor, it's a lot of pressure to put on a young fella. Like, he's such a great player. Like, it's one of those things. Cillian Murphy gets so much plaudits because of the position that he's playing. But in terms of, like, centre backs, Donald O'Connor is such a good centre back that if you were to compare apples for apples, then they'd be very similar.
He'd need a year in Cove or somewhere, I think, or 6 months.
Yeah, anyway. Maybe. Loan him out to the first division team, get some more football. I think really develop him for the rest of the season. That should be our priority, is giving him, like, he's 18, he's not too young. So give him a lot of game time for the rest of the season, let him get experience, let him make his mistakes and learn from them. And give him a chance. Whether you wouldn't be relying on him though. But yeah, it's hard to know.
Okay. Barry Robson spoke last week about how the club is assessing all options in regards to AJ Bridges' contract expiring with Norwich. Should he be signed further? As in, should we offer AJ Bridge full-time Cork City contract because his Norwich contract is out?
He'd change his plates as well, though, wouldn't he?
Your obsession with plates.
I'm just saying it. Like.
Wayne would say no because of his name, but because that's ruined it for him.
That's been cut out, Dom.
Has it? I thought we said nothing was being cut out.
No, that's been cut, definitely. This hasn't
too,
so people are going to wonder what we're talking about.
Yeah, Dan isn't even here. Back to AJ Bridge and his contract. Do you offer AJ Bridge a 2-year full-time contract at Cork City?
I like AJ Bridge, but I don't know if he's like.
Okay, Tom, it's a yes or no. I'm going to say no. Wayne?
I'm going to say no, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm going to say no as well.
But there's a caveat that, again, if we're not getting better players, then yes, I would. If we're going up with the team, yes, I would.
Yeah, I'd take him over another player from non-league in England or
if we're doing
second division in Latvia. Yeah.
The Cork City FC Social Supporters Club. That's a very important question. What's TOTAP's view on the lack of low-fat and gluten-free cheese options at the match night burger vans? Is it a potential crisis for the club, alienating those who prefer the lower-fat Calvita cheese slices?
Well, eating Calvita is straight away he's making a mistake. He or she, I should say. He's already making a mistake.
What is that?
I will say...
Is Calvita still even a thing?
Yeah, like there's no low-fat Calvita cheese slices anywhere for a start. There's certainly not an offer.
Is he talking about easy singles or is he talking about like cheddar?
Who knows?
Or American cheese is called now, I think, to be fancy, isn't it?
As somebody who has a fairly good understanding of gluten and gluten-free products and what happens if celiacs do eat gluten and whatever, I would say the reaction of somebody who would eat gluten at the burger vans when they shouldn't would be very similar to how things operate at the club. That shit flows downhill pretty quickly.
The food options, though, is shocking at the club. I never understood why someone like Mace or someone don't have their sandwiches on sale at the Cross. It's just a simple thing.
Yeah,
everyone wants to eat burgers and stuff. They could throw in 20, 30 sandwiches there that they usually have in the fridge. People would buy them.
Yeah,
that's buds. Do you know what?
They can't spell potatoes. That's the problem. I couldn't eat there after I saw they couldn't spell. If you can't spell what you're selling, it's kind of an issue there. But again, look, it could be lovely. Who knows? Big fan of the name, but
even though that's not his name. But do you remember they had a coffee van there a couple of years ago in the corner between St. Anne's and the Donny Ford? That was great. I like coffee, but it was very nice coffee, and they had brownies and stuff that were very good. But the problem was when you're making those kind of barista coffees, it takes so long to make that the queue was massive for it. So that's probably why it didn't succeed. But
what's another initiative you do to get numbers in the door after the €5 tickets and Kid for a Quid? What's next?
Get the Argentinians in.
I gave one earlier.
Did you hear? I forgot about that. When the Brazilians were doing the crossbar challenge at half time, and balls to the wind man was halfway up the shed, and he just spent 15 minutes just roaring Argentina, Argentina, Argentina at the top of his lungs. Man's off his game completely.
Doesn't drink apparently.
That's just brilliant.
He certainly does. He does drink. I've met him in Turner's Cross Tavern pre-game with a pint in his hand, so he does drink. Right, so what's next after Kid for a Quid and Fiver?
Well, like I said earlier, I mentioned after the success of the Brazil one to try and get them to come back by offering anyone has a ticket for that one to come back, but you probably have to be doing that before. You have to be announcing that beforehand because people will throw away their tickets or lose them or whatever. So that's too late.
I think you go back to what worked. Kid for a Quid worked. €5 tickets work, so just go back and do them again. You don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. If something works, keep doing it until it doesn't work. That would be my take on it. Wayne, what do you make of Robson's comment that there's no one window fix for this squad? Also, he mentioned the need for investment. To me, it sounds like we're in for another Dermot Usher disaster class in July.
With two windows. You literally have 2 windows to sort that squad for next season. There's no excuses. 2 windows. Plenty of time. Plenty.
But to be a competitive Premier Division squad, it's a 4 or 6 window fix.
4 minimum, I would say. Of course it is. You need to do with Dundalk next season. That's a 2 window fix. Then you got to do with Shelburne. That's a 4 window fix. It's probably a 6 to 8 window fix. No, do you know what? To be challenging again, it's probably a 10 to 12 window fix. 6 years.
Will we get an Moyler replacement, or is this another sustainable approach? I think we definitely get one, and I presume it'll be a Barry Robson pointy.
It has to be. Otherwise,
no one's going back from Scotland for that, though.
You wouldn't know. You wouldn't know if if it's somebody who Barry Robson already has a connection with and already has a relationship with.
He would have got him in first day instead then,
But he couldn't, because there was somebody in place. That's the whole point.
Was he under contract so as well, was he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. That was the whole, that was one of the things anyway. I think we definitely get somebody in. I think 100%. Barry Robson said there'd be somebody coming in one of the press conferences.
Could it be Greg Balder?
Actually, it was after the game on Friday night.
Could be Greg.
Yeah, maybe. I think Greg would stay underage for a bit. A few moments to appreciate the changes. Whose dog is barking?
That's me.
All right, okay. A few moments to appreciate the changes Liam Kearney has made as director of football. Robson had been reluctant to use youth, but has given debuts in recent games. Injury inflicted, or has Liam Kearney had a word with Barry Robson? Colin and O'Brien returning and nothing put in front of Moyler leaving. Green shoots. Can I kill the Derek Collin one a small bit? I believe Derek Collin situation was in hand before Liam was appointed director of football. Just putting it out there. But it's still a good thing, and it's still going to go down on Liam's CV. The thing about the injuries and playing youth, Wayne, I think it's need more so than Barry saying I want to play them. I think there's just been so many injuries, suspensions, fellas missing, etc., and such a small squad. He's had no option but to play him. He spoke openly on Friday night post game about loans and sending young players out on loan, but you can only do that when you have experienced players in the door. I think we're going to see over the coming 2 years or so with Grayson and with Robson been there, you're going to see a more English approach whereby young players will go out, will be a Premier Division club. Young players will go to Cove, they'll go to other First Division clubs on loan for a season, get used to playing football, men's football, before they step into the senior side, which is not something that's happened at any League of Ireland club, but it's just the feeling I get from what he was saying the other night.
Yeah, that's good. City may, it could be a case City have to actually pay the clubs to loan them out. They might have to. Because Cove might go, why are we playing an 18-year-old for a season when he's going to be gone at the end of the season?
Oh, yeah, we pay his wages. Yeah,
but we may have to take Cove a few quid to do it too.
I don't know.
I don't think Robson's going to send him out not knowing if he's playing every game. Being honest. You might cover a player's wages for a week by doing it. I don't know, it's just an option. Clubs do it, so.
Yeah. Dominic, it's all been good since Liam was promoted. There's not a whole lot else to say.
Yeah, definitely. It's been a very positive appointment, which has kind of led to a few very more positive. It just breeds positivity, which is great.
Absolutely. Final one here. Odds of the club been taken over by Americans by the start of next season. That's a bit random, isn't it?
What was the question? Sorry?
Odds of the club being taken over by Americans by the start of next season.
We're past that now.
You think?
Yeah. I think Usher's here now for the long haul.
Still looking for investment.
Well, probably, sure. Yeah.
100% we're looking for investment. Okay, so you don't see any chance of Americans taking over. I don't need to be a takeover.
No chance, but I just think that if something was going to happen, it would have happened already.
Okay. We play Bray Wanderers at home on Friday night. Again, it's going to be the same thing we say every time. There's no real jeopardy here. There's just turn up and win the game. These previews are completely shite because there's fucking nothing to preview. Do you know?
What I will say on this one is Bray do seem to, other than ourselves, Bray do seem to be the team in form at the moment. They haven't lost since early May, similar enough to us. So they've been on a similar run that we have. They've played quite well, and from what I've seen, playing decent enough football. They're kind of out there putting pressure on teams and stuff. So they're a good team, but again, they're not Cork City. A couple of players to watch from them would, like Richard Ferris, that they have. I think he's 17. I think he's the potential. He shows all the signs of being a very good player in the future.
Is he like Kevin at Treaty? Is he?
Yes. Yeah. Well, who knows?
We've played them twice already. We beat them 1-0 in Turner's Cross. We drew with them 1-1 up there. As I said, I'm trying to make the fucking previews interesting, but it's how do you? We're 15 points clear.
Can't fool the listeners.
They're shit, they're third in the table, but they're shit, Whole division is shit. There's no getting away from that.
They're leaking goals as well, which is, they're winning and drawing, but they've conceded.
They conceded 2 to 10 men Longford on Friday night.
5 games, is it?
Yeah. They beat Longford 5-2 on Friday night, but Longford scored twice with only 10 men. They had a man sent off early enough. Did you make any changes to last week's team?
Yeah, we play the 3 boys as all as 9s. Well, it's probably not the game to do that.
Why is it not the game? Why is it not the game?
They're the second highest scores in the league, but they've got conceded more than Kerry, who are or Finn Harps, who are second last. Just have a game of ball and have a crack.
That's mad. Yeah.
We've only scored once against them in both games. 1-1 and 1-0.
That's the Jimmy Corcoran effect.
Yeah, Jimmy Corcoran is. Yeah. It's a tough one to call because there shouldn't be anything I just don't want for us to come on here every week and say we'll walk over them, we'll be piece of piss.
But we are going to walk all over
first
them.
Division.
We can't fool people.
We haven't really walked all over many teams. In fairness, we've beaten them, and that's one thing. We've been I myself have been very critical because it's not been enjoyable to watch Cork City lately. But the stats don't lie. We've 7 wins from 7, 6 clean sheets. We've conceded 1 goal in the last 7 games. So we are doing something right. And even though it doesn't pass the eye test for City, even though it's not been enjoyable to watch, those are very good statistics to have. Those are very good points to be able to make.
Well, it's the first division, though.
It is the first division, but you can only play what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Bray are also playing the first division. They're also playing against shit teams. I would have said up until about a month ago that we are where we belong based on what we've been seeing. What we'd been seeing, it's a bit different now. I do see some improvements. Just not enough entertainment. We got those 15-20 minutes on Friday of very good entertainment. You
see, they are second, and Kerry went up there and beat them 1-0 the other night. I'm sorry, like, I don't want to keep saying it.
None of these teams are going up next season.
Yeah,
in the playoffs,
like, it's just like
no. UCD are in a bad bit of form. They've 3 losses of their last 5.
Yeah.
Right.
Other than that's nearly
no point in flogging
that matches their amount of losses before that.
I think just 2 things we asked for this season was to win the league, go unbeaten with 103 points. That didn't happen. And get Keating back in form, and that's happened. They're 2 bonuses so far. Next set is to get these young players involved more and get them 8 to 10 games on the pitch. Yeah. And I think Odamusu deserves a shot. I really do. I know Brand's playing well, but you got to give the guy a shot. Like. He deserves it.
No. The lad has 6 clean sheets in a row, and you turn around and you want to give the
I don't mean now. I mean towards the end of the season, give him a shot. At some point, no.
But we have to have a look at him to know whether we bring him
this is the
to the Premier Division or not.
And like 2 games.
Do you give him that shot in the cup game?
100% cup games, you do, yeah. Well,
wait to Shamrock Rovers.
Shamrock Rovers
too. Like if we lose 4 or 5, which you probably will.
Yeah.
Shamrock Rovers don't beat anybody 4 or 5-0. I know I'll perish on that rock.
They beat us 5-0 3 years ago, like 6-0 was it?
3 years ago. This Shamrock Rovers don't. They bore people to death.
Will you stop? Like, they will.
They're 1 down now home to Derry tonight. Like,
they know Lopez. That's why.
Maybe so.
Yeah, maybe if you're relying on a 34-year-old centre back.
Then... stop! Don't give hate. He's in the World Cup.
I know. Do you know what? I've obviously a lot of problems with Shamrock Rovers and I'm a fan of any of their players really, but you have to give it to Pico Lopez. Like it's just great to see somebody playing in the League of Ireland in the World Cup. So I'm delighted. I hope they do very well.
Yeah. I have no issue. I wish them all the best. I'd like to see people get on in life and do well and fair play to them, you know.
It's nice to have an Irish player.
Boo the shit out of him the night we're up there if he's back. But you know, he'll be playing for them. He won't be back anyway. He'll get a few weeks off afterwards. Right, okay. Huh?
Why would he?
Of course he is. Like he gave him a few weeks off for the preparation. Obviously he went away early, but I don't see him coming back and go straight into that side. I genuinely don't. I think he'll need 2 or 3 weeks off just to ease himself back into it then. Could be wrong. Of course. They'll want him for Europe as well.
I think now he's going to come back, right? He'll finish the season. And when he retires, he's going to be turned to a pundit and he's going to it'll do great for his career after football. I really think it will. Because people are learning about him, understanding, I think they'll embrace it. And I think he's setting out for after his career, which is great.
How far ahead of the game was Philip Long the night he gave him man of the match in Turner's Cross?
I was making that joke earlier. I was saying give Pico Lopez man of the match, but yeah,
like we would everybody mocked Phil and said you can't give a Shamrock, but Phil was ahead of the game. He saw things that other people didn't see.
I give a 1 to watch in every match preview that we did. His 1 to watch was fucking phenomenal.
Do you know? So fair play. Right, Bray, give me a score, Wayne.
5-1.
Okay. Tom?
3-1 City. I think we're going to have to concede at some point. And now, we very nearly conceded on Friday, actually. I meant to say this earlier. We've Charlie Lyons to thank for our 6 clean sheets in a row with his goal line clearance. That was a real heart-in-your-mouth moment, but...
Yeah, look, it was a great clearance. Fair play to him. Is there any chance... Because obviously he came off on Friday night and Luke Downey came on. Like, there's no way you're starting Downey instead of Charlie Lyons.
Why not?
Because then you're playing Downey and O'Connor. You're playing Downey and O'Connor next to each other.
Oh, okay,
yeah. I think you go Charlie Lyons and Donald O'Connor. And I do think Luke Downey, I've heard from somebody who coached him underage that he's meant to be a phenomenal player, and that there's so many of these young players in the under-20s who I've heard so many great things about them. I'm thinking, right, we really need to be giving them a chance and see we could have a serious team on our hands there.
That reminds me of something else as well. I meant to say a while ago when we were doing the underage roundup, but that under-20s tier 1, it's Cork City, Bray Wanderers, UCD, St. Pat, Shamrock Rovers, Shelburne, Bowes and Drogheda. I mean, the lads will be fucking sick shit of going up and down that motorway to Dublin by the time that's finished, like, you know. But they're the teams that qualified, so there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. But as I said, every away game is up and down the same road. Like, you'd be shit sick of it.
That's great preparation for them for the Premier Division next year.
That is true. Right, so we're going to beat Bray. We're going to beat them well. There's no SB of the week this week, guys. It was just nothing happened.
Can we just give it to Shamrock Rovers for the crack?
I thought the new tradition was to give it to James McLean, no?
Right, James McLean or Shamrock Rovers? Who gets it?
We'll leave it off. Don't force it. Guys, anything else? Anything you need to say? Do? Before we...
Well done, Dermot. Sure. There we go now.
Yeah. Positive week. Hopefully more to come.
Bring back positivity ratings.
Starting with Bray Wanderers succumbing to a rampant Cork City and Turner's Cross... Munster FA Turner's Cross Stadium, I should say, on Friday night. We'll be back next week, guys. Hopefully the Cork City Social Supporters Club will be on with more riveting questions for us. Until then, adios.
Adios.
Ciao, 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 ciao.
Hey there, Toe Tapper. This podcast is sponsored by NordVPN, and we have a deal of a lifetime. So listen up. Are you still surfing the web with all your personal info hanging out? That's like going to Fountainstown with your Mickey dangling for all to see. But fear not, my digitally exposed friend. NordVPN is here to hide your pecker. With NordVPN, you can cloak your online presence faster than the club counts gate receipts. Say goodbye to those pesky ad trackers and hello to streaming shows from all over the globe. Want to watch a dodgy stream without it buffering? NordVPN might just make it happen. And hackers trying to steal your data? They'll have better luck finding Kimberly Mikado in the tea room. NordVPN's got more layers of security than the VIP section on match day. So what are you waiting for? Get NordVPN today and surf the web with style, security, and a sprinkle of quirkiness. Go to nordvpn.com/TOTAP for our exclusive deal. It's practically free. You miserable.